Alrighty, so this is my favorite thing, getting to hear the stories from my community. And I have an amazing woman here, just another sister goddess in business, Nettie Owens, who's going to share her experience of strategic meditation being part of the Be Visionary movement. So to kick us off, Nettie, why don't you tell everyone like who you are, what you do, and how long have you been in business? Also, where they can find you. Yeah.
Yes, awesome. So I'm Nettie Owens. My company is the Sapari Group. And really, what we do here is to help high achievers, high performers, super busy people who have a lot on their plate, a lot of responsibilities, to actualize those plans and responsibilities without harming the people they love, themselves, those around them, etc. And we do this through a number of different methods, but mainly it's coaching and and other tools like being in peer groups and things like that. But the idea is really that you work on yourself as a way to reach your goals. I have been doing this kind of work, and I've been a business owner and an entrepreneur for 20 years and celebrating I know, pretty amazing, right? It's awesome to have started at age 4.
Yeah.
No, I own it. I love being the age that I am. I did actually start my business fairly young, but I love being here. So many others before have not gotten to this point in age, and I'm ever so grateful every day. Um, okay, let's see. How long have I been doing this? What am I doing? And where they can find me? Yeah, so I highly recommend you go to creatingmomentumprogram.com/map, MAP. And I've got a little gift for you there. So go check it out and you can learn more about yourself, actually, and helping you reach your goals using your strengths.
Mhm. Creatingmomentumprogram.com/map. Yep.
That's it.
All right. Everyone go there. Check Nettie out. She is a superb business coach, and it's an honor to work alongside you.
We are like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Well, this is interesting because here we are, like me and Jenny goes together like peas and carrots. Like we're not
Yeah.
together and but at the same time, we didn't always know each other. We didn't always do business like
Hmm.
we do.
No, we
Uh,
didn't. It's been
yeah.
um, 8 years, or maybe a little less, because it was at the end of the year. But yeah,
It's been a while.
it has. It has. And I'm grateful. Like we've seen each other along on our own journeys of self-development and self-actualization and our business growth. And we've collaborated and supported others in that same way. And we've supported each other. We've hired each other for our success. I think that's just a huge testament to how much we value and appreciate what each one of us does, knowing that we can't do this business thing alone. We can't do this life thing alone. So we work well together on just so many levels. And because of that, this to me is like the feminine in business, this kind of a relationship, right? And it's what's possible when you bring that in.
Yeah. Ooh, it takes a village.
Mhm.
Yeah. And having journey partners makes the journey lighter, right? You're able to go farther together. Maybe faster alone, but we have been through a lot personally as well as professionally. And to have community, I think is, it's like the secret sauce to long.
Hmm.
I'm talking about 20 years in business, right? Or eight
Yeah,
years of an operating relationship as friends and as doing business together.
yeah,
There's this quality of knowing that you have good, integrous people around you that gives you the juice to keep going. Yeah. And
absolutely.
I pray that for, like, I wish that for anyone watching, that you be surrounded by people who love, honor, respect, and feel you. And
Yes, yes, so good. So good.
so tell me, was there, like, what was the point that you got introduced to meditation the first time in your life? Because when you come to work with me, and for anyone who's watching, right, my Be Visionary movement, what we stand for is that high performing business owners hold the vision, that they're able to use their imagination to help drive the business operations, whether you're a corporation of many or a corporation, this corpse, this body of one,
Yeah.
right? And so we use meditation to help drive productivity. But
Mhm.
this is like not how meditation is normally done. And I'm curious, like in general in life, what do you remember? Like, how did you ever meditate before you met me? What was it like?
Yeah, so meditation was definitely a part of my life in a number of different areas for a long time. And you're right, different than what I learned with strategic meditation that you teach. But as I was thinking about this, the first time I remember meditating was actually prior to a cross country race when I was maybe like 14 or 15 years old in high school. Our coach led us through a visualization exercise where we imagined ourselves running the race and and being successful, like doing the things we knew we needed to do, imagining the course. It was a course we were familiar with, so going through each thing. And so at that point, I incorporated that into my like night before routine. And the other thing is, my dad, who was a government employee and a leader in the agency that he was employed for. Um, he was also learning professional tools and strategies, and he was talking to me about how relaxation meditation. And that was again, like in high school, we would have long conversations around these things. Um, and so there's always been that. Plus, I'm had grown up going to church, and I consider prayer meditation, and so prayer was a long time meditation practice for me prior to us meeting. Um, but I was thinking very specifically about our conversation, and what came to mind. I'm like, when did I first start doing meditation? Oh, I was trying to teach my kids meditation, where you sit quietly and empty your mind of everything. And I like the kids had a hard time doing it. I had a hard time doing it. It just didn't work like for me. And I understand the value, and I've read like all of the, research about how quieting your mind is so important. But always like more, like the more I quieted my mind, the more thoughts would come up, and just felt like I wasn't very good at it. And then that was frustrating, because did we mention, like, we work with high achievers because we're high achievers, right? So it's like, well, I can't figure this thing out. And at the time, I wasn't connecting the dots, like these other things that I had done in the past, prayer and visualization and relaxation, were all also meditative techniques, right? So that came into my mind as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is fascinating. So I'm hearing like the athletic performance aspect. Go coach. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And the spiritual development, like relationship with creator and church
Mhm.
community. Awesome. And then also your dad, the like being a calm and present leader. Go dad. Like right on, amazing.
Yeah.
And then trying to bring in like the mainstream, just stop thinking.
Yeah. Stare at this candle. Listen to the bell until you can't hear it anymore. Like, tried all sorts of things.
Yeah, I suck at that kind of meditation. So,
But I'm not the only one.
yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. My like you reminded me how my mother, she would be like, yeah, I learned TM, Transcendental Meditation with the Maharishi. You're supposed to say a mantra and you can't tell anyone for the rest of your life or it won't work and all of that. I'm like, I have no idea what any of that is, and whenever I watch her meditate, she just go to sleep. So it's like, okay, take a nap. Got it.
Check.
So so that's like pain.
That's the container that I'm, that's the vantage point that I'm coming from when we met. Yeah.
And so then we come to a crossroads of like, okay, so that was what the concept and container of meditation was beforehand. And then you had an experience of doing a strategic meditation, or before I had it called a strategic meditation, I was referring to it from the roots where I learned of it, of shamanic vision journey meditation, right? So when you first had a strategic meditation, do you remember?
Oh, I remember.
Oh,
I wasn't prepared for it.
ooh,
So you and I got together because of, well, we should like tag that other video about how you and I got together.
yeah.
But I'll sum it up as we were working one-on-one. You were one-on-one coaching me. And that one-on-one coaching came with a membership to the Visionary Shaman Circle. I didn't sign up for that. I was like, hey, I just want to work with Victoria because she seems to know her stuff. But you were like, no, 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 you get that and you get this. And I was like, well, I guess I'm paying for it, so I should come. I didn't read the notes beforehand. I didn't have a clue what I was showing up to. So we come into the Zoom room and I'm sitting on my bed and I'm like, okay, here we go. And you said, okay, yeah, this is how we do it. And I I didn't have a clue. At the time, the group kind of knew they had been doing it, and it wasn't the same as the guided ones that you provide now as your entry point. Um, so the drum track started, and I saw like a red light. I think I just saw the insides of my eyelids. Like
Yeah.
and you're like, yeah, you saw a red light. Okay, cool. So at that point where I'm like, I don't even know what this is, but I'm curious. I am so curious. I love information. And so then I went back and I did the homework and I read what I was supposed to have read before showing up to this. And then I started practicing it for real. And so it was it was different and it was more accessible because I could think. I could I was allowed to think. I was encouraged to think. I was encouraged to imagine. And at the time, my kids were little and my business was growing and like space for me to think was not really common, like, or to dream, or to just kind of allow myself some openness to be ready for what might show up in whatever way it might show up. I was just very goal focused and, um, that's fine. And I'm still goal focused, but there's really a lot of power in imagining a different future than what you see in front of you. And so that was really what this allowed me to do, was to imagine, just to imagine again, right? What could be possible if I just imagined a little bit?
Yeah. I love the point that you make. It's like you're not thinking. You don't have to like shut your mind off. If anything, it's thinking with intention or kind of harnessing that creative problem solver, and kind
Mhm.
of like taking it from like a dog roaming around is like dog on a leash. Yay.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. It's super focused. So the thinking process really hones all of your thoughts into one direction. So when your mind is really scattered and chaotic, sometimes for me, just the act of kind of getting into the meditative space is what I need. And what follows is great, but just that like bringing my thoughts together into one place. And I keep kind of putting into a focus because the first step is that you imagine coming into an entry point. Well, there are days, even just like pulling my thoughts together to go into an entry point is the challenge. Like you're not running all over the things that you're you're like going into you're walking through the door. You have to focus on walking through the door, right? Um, I know there are other videos where you describe how this process works, but and I would encourage if you're watching this and you're really curious, like, why does she talk about an entry point or walking through the door? You'll understand. I'm sure Victoria will tag another video in here to explain it. But just that process when life is so chaotic can be what you need to bring your mind together. And then being able to ask the questions that I have on my mind about decisions that I need to make, about what's happening in my life, about what's possible, to have a focused space to quiet myself and listen. And I've had some really profound spiritual experiences through this meditation where I've connected to, so I mentioned, going to church. So connected to Jesus and connected to my grandmother who has passed, connected to myself, my future self, really meaningful and profound experiences because of being able to quiet my mind enough to hear that. So yeah, it's been a very powerful tool that I use.
Hmm. Yeah. So it sounds super personally enriching, and I totally agree that it's only augmented my relationship with my creator. It hasn't replaced and will never, it's not what it's about. And it's deepened my relationship with the people that I love, as well as deepened my relationship with myself. I agree so much. It's a source of um, confidence and strength. Um,
Mhm. Confidence being with faith or with trust, right? If we think about the root of that word and kind of a footnote or sidebar, this is faith, belief, agnostic, like whatever your spirituality or not, like it doesn't matter because this isn't based in um, one spiritual practice.
totally agree. It's about where do you want to direct your mind.
Right.
And with that, so you and I both are business owners.
hmm
Businesses cost a money as well as
hmm
generate a money.
Right.
And so we're talking about something that has had deep personal, has been a source of deep personal nourishment and for mental clarity and harnessing. I'm curious, what, forgive me for this question, what does that have to do with business? Like, has this had any impact? Like being a part of this community or doing strategic meditation as a regular practice, has this had an impact on your business?
Yeah, I came to this specifically for business results. I mean, that was my focus. Like knowing that as the founder and leader of my company, if I am not on point, then no other part of my business will be. able to function, right? And in life, we have uh, two goals or areas that we are actualizing in our relationships, so love, connection, community, etc., and our purpose, work. Like, what are we doing here? What are we supposed to achieve for ourselves or the world, with why we're put on this planet, right? But neither of those things can happen if we don't have, I'm going to say health, but like our energy, our wellness. Like, if we aren't well, we cannot show up to our relationships or our work. And so, that was kind of the point where I came in knowing, like, if I'm not fully well myself, then how am I going to do the work that I need to do? And since my work is my business, then that is directly connected. And the people that I met when I came in were also high achievers. And I think at the time, like half and half were business owners. It was kind of a mix, but so much to learn from every community member, that was part of that. So for me, it was, what I was learning, and also sharing that in a safe space, because um, you're encouraged to verbally express what you're seeing or hearing or feeling and how that's impacting you. And so hearing others kind of normalized my experience, which was helpful. And at the beginning, I'm a little competitive. So I was like, I want to be like the best meditator. Like, I have more intuition and I'm more connected than anybody you've ever seen. And I can remember another conversation, because we were talking before an event that I was supposed to be presenting on. And I'm like, I mean, I can remember distinctly trying to get you to say I was like the best student. Like,
I'm sorry.
and she's like, sorry. And then you, Victoria, were like, this is, I mean, everyone has this ability. And no, no, like, I I want to be special. Right, exactly. But the truth is, isn't it brilliant that everyone has this ability, and that you can be this connected and feel this good, and have this, way to tap into yourself, into your creator, into the universe, into shared knowledge, and then come together in community. And so the people that I've met have been people that I've stayed in touch with. It's really kind of a wonderful community to know you're part of a group that values this kind of work on yourself, and for the greater good. So.
Yay! Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so nice that you got like the backhanded compliment of everyone's special. Way to go, Nettie. You're obviously the best. In fact, you're better than the rest because you not only picked up on the practice, and it's just a mental exercise that we're doing,
Mhm.
and you're like, I'm sharing this with everyone. And so you, over the years, like with us having worked together for years, you used to hold, as I used to hold, live events,
Mhm.
bringing me in. Like, I will, my spirit guide's telling me to ask you, like, what would you say to someone as a business coach and strategist
Mhm.
hosting like strategic planning live events for high achieving business owners? What was your like, why did you decide to bring me in to lead strategic meditations? How did you see, or did you see that this practice added value to?
Oh yeah. You and I have partnered on these events now for quite a while. I don't, I'd have to do some thinking to figure out exactly when it started. The first time that you came, you had not so distantly published your first book, Natural Intuition Now. And so, I wanted you to share that with the community, because it talked about, some of these concepts that we're talking about here now. Um, but if I could speak to the planner, the business owner, the person who's providing events and things like that, having Victoria come and share this particular practice, it will change the results that your attendees receive at the event, because it will help your attendees be more focused and have more clarity in what they're moving towards, and also to help them be more present in the room. Because for me, as I said, I work with high achievers who have a lot of responsibilities. Just getting them in the room is really, really challenging. But that first day that we're there, their heads are usually like in a million different places, and just like, oh my gosh, I'm here, but what about the thing that's happening at home? Or what about what's happening at my office? Or what about that's happening in the world? And so like having the practice of strategic meditation to help them, like oftentimes I'll have you lead a meditation to ask for their intention for the overall event. Like it's changed. We've done different kinds of things, but we've done intention, we've done a metaphor, like who do they need to be to reach their goals. We've done what question do they need to ask the community, because we do a mastermind.
One.
Yeah, and so giving them this tool that they not only use at the event, but they can take it home. And, first, like, it's great, like, that's great. But I got to tell you, again, speaking really directly to those event planners, bringing Victoria in, everybody loves her. Like, everybody across the board loves her. And so they're always like, oh, I want to get a minute to talk to her. Can she explain this thing that I just saw? And it honestly, it adds a level of positive energy. Like, and it's super supportive. You do not know what your people are coming with. And unless you yourself are prepared to host an event and deal almost sort of like therapeutically with all the stuff that reaching for really big goals brings up in people, which like I know if I'm working one-on-one with somebody, yes, I can deal with and handle and coach a person through a situation. There's plenty of clients that I have sent directly to Victoria to work with her because they need to go deeper, or they need something different, or it's not business or coach related. And so, I will have her work with them. But I can't host an event and do that. I can't deliver on, leading somebody through their 90-day strategic plan and also work with them when they confront the demons that come up, because they're like, oh my gosh, who am I to go for this really big goal? And my family member did this and they died, like that's a thing. Or my family member just recently died and they're dealing with grief, and they're also I mean, these are all things that have happened at my event because I've done the event. What did we were up to like 15 or 16 times that I had hosted this event. And so a lot comes up. You've got people, lives are messy. So having Victoria as my partner in delivering this event meant that I reached my goals as a business owner and a event provider, and my people also were fully supported. And it has this other benefit in that she supports me. Like she makes sure that my energy and my presence stays on point, because there's a lot of emotion and there's stuff that comes up, like the time that we were fully virtual and the tech team that was recording the fully virtual didn't show up. Um, she totally walked me off that ledge and back. I was about to take people out. And if you can't tell, I'm not the biggest person on the planet. I clock in at a whopping like 110, 5'4". So, but people were going down. People were going down. And thankfully, Victoria was there to save lives that day. People lived because of Victoria. One more day. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need all of that drama. And it's good to have someone as a diffusing presence because it's a transformational container. And
Mhm.
oh, I'm ready for my transformation. Are you, though? Because all of the doubt, all of the excitement, and then all of the curveballs uh,
Yeah.
are going to come through. And so I'm so overjoyed. It's been so much fun. Yeah, getting to support and see all the magic. That's my element for sure. And
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that. And we've been talking about the practice and then like also the events. But there was a certain point where we transitioned to it's like having a Victoria in your back pocket. And that was you. You came up with that concept. I would really like and you were like, oh, get on Insight Timer so I could have you in
Mhm.
the back pocket. And
Yep.
and then I kind of did, like, I think I put one thing. I'm
You
like,
did
oh,
one.
yeah,
One.
one hot one meditation, just one. And I was, but I'm like, ooh,
A waterfall of receptivity, I think, is the one that's on. By the way, Victoria's on Insight Timer.
you're
Um,
the best.
there's one. Bringing it up here. We're gonna see.
Just like one hot, and then it was like, no, I would love to like our I want to get away from all this noise of social media and blah,
Mhm.
like people, because that was some feedback that I would get from the community of like, I have to cut through all this stuff in order to get to you. And so, yeah, there you are.
The waterfall of receptivity. It's a great meditation.
You.
The one that's on here, 4.8 stars.
But now
Um,
we have our own community, we have our own app. uh,
Right.
and it is a membership, it is an investment. It's not one cup of coffee a month, it's about a cup of coffee a day currently.
Mhm.
And so I wanted to ask you, like, how do you like having the app? Like, is there a benefit to it, and is it worth the investment for you? Like, how's your ROI been?
Yeah, so the app is really, really helpful because I keep pointing out that there's one meditation on Insight Timer. I'm pretty sure there's thousands, all Victoria, all the time. On the app that you've put together, everything that you've done so far, and every week you keep adding to it, like 2 more meditations a week, on everything and anything that you could possibly want to meditate on, whether if it's like, I need a healing meditation, or I need a meditation to calm my mind, or I want to go and do strategic meditation, or I need a guided strategic meditation, like anything and everything that you could possibly want. And then also, what's been really helpful is this, you started putting out a calendar for the month. So if you're not sure, you're like, thousands, that sounds like totally overwhelming for me, Um, you just use the calendar and, Victoria tells you this week, all this week, just repeat, do this particular meditation and see what happens, right? And so based on what's happening in the world and what could be beneficial for the season that we're in or whatever, just you can just follow that. So you can search the whole treasure trove, or you can just be guided, which I felt like having that structure was really helpful. But the question came up because, um, we all just wanted a little bit more of you, and it was selfish to be like, Toria, will you please get on the phone and lead me through a meditation? But that's absolutely what can happen if you have the app. Um, so having that has been really beneficial. And then we have been working together, and you have some of your other trainings on there, times that you've read books out loud. By the way, that's been one of my, like, the meditations, yay, love that. But one of my favorite things is Victoria reading books, because she doesn't just read the book, she like interjects and repeats back certain phrases, and you're like, and it hits you differently. And then at the end, she'll like summarize the chapter for you. She's like, well, this is what I'm getting from this chapter. So that's given me a different perspective on some of these books that I've read in the past and helped me like maybe better mesh it um, with what I'm doing. So I really do enjoy how you do your interpretive reading. I'm not sure how you want to like call that. So there's that, there's courses that she's taught, and then of course there's the meditations. And because it's in this private community, people comment, they're like, oh, what, this is what's coming up for me, or I really liked this meditation. There's just that feedback that comes from being part of a group of people who are all doing it together.
Yeah, yeah. And knowing that everyone in there is a professional. Everyone's doing these meditations and doing this work because they have stuff to do. They want to have an impact. They want to see the needle move forward in some way, shape, and form. It's different. I've been part of spiritual communities where it's like, I mean, they make me look type A, and maybe I am, but whereas being surrounded by other people who are like, oh, I love this and this helped me make more money, right? Or, oh, I
Mhm.
love the sales training. It really helped me with one of our members is like kicking butt with her MLM sales, for example. Or this, like having feedback from someone who got over their block from doing their taxes simply
Mhm.
by doing one of the strategic meditations that everyone's moving the needle forward. It's a different vibe being in a community like this. So, who would you say, that being said, who would you say
Mhm.
for and who is this not for? Like, if you were to recommend
Yeah.
this to someone, like, who would you recommend it to? And then who would you like, yeah, this is not for you, actually?
So I think we've talked about who it's for. I mean, this whole conversation has been a lot about who it's for. If you're listening at this point, you've been hearing me and Victoria call out the kinds of people that we work with, the kinds of people that show up to these kinds of events, and that kind of thing. So I'm going to talk about who this is not for. So really, if you are not ready to like change or to go there or to do the hard work, then this probably isn't for you. Like if you just really want to have somebody blow smoke up your butt and be like, hey, everything you're doing is fine and you can continue to exist in this lackluster way, then this isn't for you because you're going to hear a lot of positive speak. You're going to hear about a lot of hope and you might not be ready for that. It might be really confronting. Like positivity can be very confronting. And it doesn't come without pain for change. So if you're not willing to be uncomfortable, perhaps even to try something new, then it's just not for you. I mean, you could be anyone on any walk of life, whether you have like an amazing high-powered executive job, this is perfect for you. Or if you're just starting out and you're like really, early in your career and journey, or maybe you're a homemaker who's going back into the workforce, like, or you're a homemaker who's at home, like you could definitely get value from this. Any one of those could definitely get value from this. But if you're in any of those positions and you're like, I know everything I need to know, and I don't want to be uncomfortable, then this isn't for you. Because there have been times where, I've personally been doing strategic meditation and it brings up some significant feelings that you then have to work through, or you might hear something that you don't want to do. Like, you might be reluctant to make that change or stop particular behavior that you're exhibiting. I've had meditations where it's absolutely clear that the path that I'm on, I need to get off of. And that's uncomfortable. So like if you don't actually want to hear that, then don't bother coming along.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you for bringing out that this type of meditation can be confronting. Yeah, yeah. And because sometimes when people read meditation, they think it's just so nice and like, you're okay. And this is for people who are decision makers and have stuff to do. And it helps amplify that decision-making process and speed it up so that you have better clarity. It's a different vibe. We certainly have ones for down regulation and calming so that we're like
Mhm.
grounded and peaceful leaders, but I agree with you. It can be confronting. I've actually had people sometimes, like as I think over the last 14 years, it's been a few times when people have had to walk out of my meditations because they got a message intuitively that they weren't really ready to receive during the meditation. Like one of those two people, I think one of them was a Marine, and for him, it was like he didn't really, whatever his spirit brought up, he didn't want to go there. And that's all right. I'm not the right person for him,
Mhm.
but for someone who's ready to go faster in the direction that they're pointed in, like, let's go.
Or that's ready to go there. You know, if you are ready to go there, this can be a great way to do that and to heal. Um, you just have to decide that you're ready.
So, do you have any final thoughts, any final messages, words of encouragement for anyone watching this right now? Any final thoughts, final messages?
Well, I think if you're at all curious after hearing everything that we've shared today, then there's no harm in checking it out and maybe finding your favorite new way of connecting with your intuition, with what you know, and like this could be the tool, right, that helps you unlock or move forward in a way that you've struggled to do so up to now. There may be a time when like you were on your game, but things have kind of shifted for you, and this could be it. There's so much available in the resources that Victoria provides. Like I would be shocked if you couldn't find something that answers a question that you have right now, today. And I know it's pretty easy to get started. And like I said, you're going to come in and be like, whoa, there's a lot here. Just head directly to that calendar. Try out the first meditation that she shares there. Um, See where it takes you.
Yeah. Yay. The hardest part's getting started.
Yeah.
And so, Nettie, I just want to thank you and honor you, my sister from another mister, for your continued love and support, your continued presence over the years. I'm sure that some of our viewers who've been following me for some time on these platforms will be like, there she is, right? We're having another Kiki, another connection, another stream together. And I just, from the bottom of my heart, it's an honor and a joy to get to have you in my life and continuing together as journey partners.
Mm.
Just thank
It's a pleasure to walk this path with you.
you. Yay. Yay. And for everyone who's watching, hi, if you want to come and join us over in the Be Visionary Movement community, go to school.com, that's SKOOL.com /Be Visionary Movement. All lowercase letters, all one word. School.com /Be Visionary Movement. We'll see you on the other side.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
one thing before we go.
Oh, yeah.
If you're watching this, I want you to drop a comment below. I will check it out. Tori will check it out. What was the one thing? What was the one thing when you were watching this today that you were like, oh my gosh, that spoke to me? Drop it in the comments below because we're not so big and fancy that you won't actually hear from us. And we'd love to connect with you.
100%. Oh, thank you for that. Yay. All right, big hugs and love, and we'll see you in the next one. Mwah! Bye.